HVAC season that she should be making. Okay, 7 o'clock. I'd like to call the meeting to order and we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for coming. We have no visitors wishing to speak this evening. So we'll go right into report of boards and committees. Ms. Mcguffey, you have a safety committee meeting?
We do, thank you. I have a brief update from our safety committee meeting. We met on May 24th. We started the meeting with some updates from our meeting that was prior to that. We talked about the addition of the pandemic continuity of operation planning, and we talked about Knox boxes outside of buildings from Mr. Mercado. And then we spoke about Mr. Belisle's training with the Secret Service in March of 2022. And some takeaways from that were the behavioral assessment updates. And we discussed some preventative and proactive intervention in regards to school safety, most of which we have in place already in each building. After that, we broke up into building teams and we reviewed all of the building safety plans, and we reported back out after we had our breakouts. And there is a committee that is being formed under Dr. Shanahan to address information security management. As we know, there has been updates to our policies about cybersecurity.
What was the date of that meeting?
The 24th.
Okay. Right. Thank you.
Any other questions?
The District Technology Committee meeting happened the day before that on May 23rd. Over the past few months, all the teachers throughout the district completed an audit of the new computer science and digital fluency standards. During the audit process, all the teachers read through the standards, and then they discussed their grade level associated courses and indicated whether the standards were already being addressed in our current curriculum. And we broke out into teams amongst our committee to analyze the grade, within grade level bands, what those responses were. And we coded the responses green if it appeared that the standard was already being addressed within our existing curriculum, yellow if we needed more clarification, and pink if there was no evidence of the standard yet being met. Gaps were initially identified and questions formulated for the building committees. A need was identified to have the two elementary buildings meet because we felt that they could benefit from speaking to each other about how they felt the standards were being met. And they are planning to meet. The building level technology committees will meet in the fall, and the elementary buildings are planning to meet together, as I mentioned. In our next meeting, the district committee will determine what professional development is needed, who needs it, and what resources are needed to provide the support for the implementation of the new standards. The work of the committee is the driving force for the district technology plan. The committee has been realigned to include a balance of stakeholders, and the tech department reminders were shared so that they could be shared out at the building level. District technology members for the 22-23 school year, meeting dates for 22-23 were proposed as November 15th, February 8th, and May 11th. Data analysis, an update will be shared about that in the fall. And then the tech department reminders included monitor replacement and docking stations, network upgrades, which will occur over the summer, the process for collecting devices from faculty and staff so that they can be updated, and then across the district we're switching to Zoom phones. And that's all we have. Any questions? Everybody just wants to get to the sports now.
Yeah.
Okay. So, were there any other committees that met?
We had a fabulous Windermere PTA Awards dinner last night. Always a fun time and a sob fest to hear everybody speaking so many wonderful things about each other and the school, and what a strong team it is. And there were some great nominations, including fabulous Mrs. Arrington receiving her lifetime PTA membership. And it was really a fun night. Windermere is also doing their musical after a couple long years of being on hold. So the Aristocats premieres tomorrow morning. I was able to go a little while for the dress rehearsal this afternoon. So tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, and tomorrow night, Thursday night. As anybody can go and make it.
Nice. Anybody else? Okay, with that, we'll move on to the superintendent's report.
Thanks. We have 2 items tonight. As you know, Mr. Wheaton is our Director of Health, PE, Athletics, and is also in charge of nursing in our school district and in the surrounding private schools. So he has a pretty all-encompassing position. But throughout the year, he's had the opportunity to update you on health and PE curriculum updates because we've had some enhancements in that regard over the last couple years. So he's really focusing this presentation on athletics, and he's brought guests with him. So welcome, everybody.
Many guests.
And welcome, Mr. Wheaton.
Okay, well, thank you for having me, and thank you for all of our guests for being here today. You can see the support that we have for athletics across the district, as evident by the people that are in this room. So I'm proud to stand in front of you today to talk about athletics, where we are, and some things that we're going to do in the future. We'll also have an opportunity towards the end of the presentation to honor our New York State NISFA competitors, the folks that are here in the room with us today. So the first thing on the agenda really is to talk about what we're going to be speaking about tonight, and that is education-based athletics. What is it and why is it important? Building a championship culture. What is our culture in athletics, and what does it mean to have a championship culture? It's not just wins and losses. There's a culture that we instill within athletics here in Amherst. We will talk a little bit about the data by the numbers, where we currently stand with athletics in terms of participation, scholar athletes, those types of data numbers. And then, as I alluded to just a minute ago, we will have an opportunity towards the end to honor our NISFA student athletes that are in the room and their coaches that have attended with them. Okay, so education-based athletics, what is it? It's really a philosophy. It's what we focus on here in New York State and really nationally. Education-based athletics is an extension of the regular classroom. It's not in addition to the educational classroom, it's an extension of it. It's a part of it within the athletics realm or the athletics platform. It's on the tracks, the courts, fields, pools. Those are the classrooms. Those are our classrooms to learn. Our coaches are teachers, our teachers are coaches, vice versa. It's education-based athletics. It complements the educational experience. It adds to it. It adds a whole nother dynamic than what can be taught sometimes in the classroom. It's educational in nature. It enhances the mission of the district to promote and to develop good young people and productive members of society. And then there's many lessons learned that are not necessarily taught in the academic classroom. Okay, so just some of the value that's added with education-based athletics. Academic achievement, we'll talk a little bit later on about scholar athletes and how so many of our athletes in attendance here and so many of our teams have made that scholar athlete distinction and honor. School attendance rates increase through education-based athletics. Graduation rates increase through education-based athletics. Fewer discipline problems, increased test scores, and lower dropout rates are among some of the added values. As you can see to my right, health and fitness, leadership, character development, teamwork, sportsmanship, dedication, work ethic, respect, decision making are just some of those added values that our students will receive through education-based athletics. If any of you participated in athletics growing up, you know that a lot of these life lessons are learned through that realm. Okay, so when we talk about culture, what is culture? Well, in our opinion, in athletics, and we work with our coaches hand in hand on this through coaches meeting and ongoing conversation and professional development, culture wins championships. Championships just don't happen overnight. It's really built upon that culture that we've built through our athletic program and through our coaches, and that stem down through our youth programs. So Amherst Athletics prioritizes a championship culture focused on developing the whole child, not just the athlete, but the mental, the physical, the emotional, the social aspect of the entire child, the whole athlete, through athletic participation and the experiences that they receive from 7th grade up through 12th grade. Our goal is to prepare students to excel in a dynamic world, which coincides with the mission of the district through the platform of athletics. So what do we focus on when we talk about a championship culture? We focus on diversity and inclusion. We pride ourselves at Amherst on diversity and inclusion. And most of these I have photos for you because I think you'll take more out of it from seeing a photo than text on a board. So I'll just run through what we have here. So on the far left is Unified Basketball recently had their championship event. Again, focusing on diversity and inclusion. We all know our buddy George. We should have invited George tonight to this. He would have been a ball. George is there in the middle, focusing on diversity and inclusion and including everybody in those education-based experiences. To the far right is Unified Bowling, which is now just in its 2nd year and has taken off, and we had over 30 kids participating in Unified Bowling. Equity. We focus on equity in the district. This is the 50th anniversary of Title IX. I am proud to tell you that we are in full compliance with Title IX for offering opportunities for girls and for boys across the entire district. We are, in order to be in compliance, you have to be within 5% of one another for boys and girls with Title IX, and we are at about 2.5%. So we're very, very close to being able to provide those equitable opportunities for both boys and girls within the district. Flag football was a great addition. Coach Kenzie's in attendance with us today as our coach. Again, going towards equity, providing those equitable opportunities for boys and girls. To the far right, we have a gymnast here at the middle school. We don't have gymnastics here in the school in Amherst anymore, but we have kids that are interested in gymnastics. So finding those opportunities, we combined with Williamsville South to be able to provide that opportunity for kids to benefit from education-based athletics. So although she's not wearing an Amherst uniform, she is still benefiting from all of those added value of education-based athletics through that opportunity to merge with another school. Sportsmanship. We build a championship culture based on sportsmanship. We are highly regarded as a sportsmanship school. As you can see on the left and the right, we've been awarded from NISFA, New York State Public High School Athletics, as a Sportsmanship Promotion Program Award winner multiple years in a row. We've been awarded by the NFHS, which is the National Federation of High School Athletics, which governs most of our rules across the country, as an award of excellence for display of sportsmanship, ethics, and integrity. And we're often recognized, I think it's Bo and Coach Kenzie there in the middle on the photo, as a character athlete award at many of our games as well. Leadership. We focus on a championship culture of leadership, and that leadership comes from our student leadership group, which is our varsity council run by Ms. Grossman at the high school. Leadership opportunities for students, embedded professional development for student athletes to then be able to deliver to their own teams. Coach Biddle is the recipient of the NFHS New York State and Regional Coach of the Year. Again, a tremendous leader and mentor in the sport of tennis. Coach Beckman won a Legacy Award this past year in the sport of football for his time and commitment towards Section 6 in the sport of football. Again, mentors, leaders, working with our student athletes across the district. We focus the championship culture on pride. We have a lot of pride in Amherst. We're very prideful about what we do, who we are, the character that we put out, what we do on the field, in and out of the classroom. The photo here on my far left is of our boys basketball team before they head off to states this past winter. They were able to go visit Smallwood and Windermere and really show the kids at those elementary schools what Amherst pride is all about. This house is protected by a tiger. We take that to heart. We really have pride in Amherst for being an Amherst Tiger, wearing the orange, the black. You know when Amherst is coming to town because we have that pride in our town. To the far right, that was at our regional basketball game this past winter, and you can see the student section. You don't have pride in your town and in your community and have 300 kids show up at a basketball game. They care about it. That's our Amherst Jungle. They have pride in Amherst athletics. Strength and conditioning. We're very fortunate to have updated our fitness facilities. I know this is something that I presented on back for health and physical education back in March, but I wanted to give you a little bit of an update. Again, our facilities have been upgraded with equipment, with graphics, kind of that Amherst pride piece, but we're also going to be adding, we have a posting going out very soon for a strength and conditioning coach to be able to add to that facility for accessibility, but also a trained professional in that realm to work with our student athletes, work with our coaches in the realm of strength and conditioning. So again, we're focusing on the mental, the social, emotional, and the physical by now adding our strength and conditioning coach to our coaching staff. Academic achievement. We are often recognized as a scholar athlete school of excellence, which means that 75% of your varsity teams have a 90% GPA or greater. We're very, very close to School of Distinction, which means that all of your teams are at 90% GPA. We're only 2 teams off this year, so we're chipping away at it. We're going to get there. But we are often very highly regarded as a school of excellence for scholar athletes, but also at a local level as well through our Western New York Section 6 Scholar Athlete program as well. Okay. Athletic achievement. We have a number of sectional winners this year. Boys basketball, a number of our boys basketball members are in attendance today. As Section 6 winners, there are also regional winners, and we know they went on to the state tournament as well. Boys golf, sectional winner this past fall. Girls cross country is a 2-peat. They won last year, they won again. So they're on a roll here, they're doing a great job. Girls cross country won a sectional title this past fall. And for the first time ever in school history, going back to Amherst Pride, girls swimming and diving took a sectional championship as well. Coach Giancarlo does a phenomenal job with the swim program, boys and girls, and they took their first sectional championship. And I see many more to come in the future with Coach Giancarlo at the helm. We focus the championship culture on athlete recognition. A plethora of opportunities to recognize student athletes for the work that they do day in, day out, and the hard work and commitment that they have throughout the season. Whether it be senior nights, volleyball senior night, hockey senior night, cheerleading senior night, to college athlete signing ceremonies. We always have one in the fall for our Division I or Division II signees called the NLI, which we were able to celebrate this past fall. Mallory Grubb, who will be attending Northwestern University, Division I cross country, track and field. And then we had an additional 17 college athlete signees just a week ago at the high school that were celebrated for their commitment towards college athletics as well. And you can see the images. Again, 18 total college athletes or seniors that are going on to play college athletics next year. If you follow me on social media or you follow Twitter or Instagram, you know that we post quite a bit, and that's really to recognize our kids. It's to promote positivity for our kids, for our programming, that Amherst Pride. So just a few examples of different types of posts that we have, whether it be a game day post or just general pictures of kids enjoying what they do and what they love, to Athlete of the Week. A number of things go on social media for people to follow. It's just another way to promote and to recognize our student athletes for the job well done that they do. Partnerships. Amherst Tigers Booster Club, we have a raffle coming up this Friday. A great opportunity. I'll send an email out tomorrow as a last chance reminder, but we wouldn't be where we are without the Amherst Tigers Booster Club, through their grant opportunities, through their fundraising, just a great group of people. If there's anybody in this room that's looking to get involved, the Amherst Tigers Booster Club is all welcoming. We're a very inclusive group, and we want people to join us to do good things for kids and to promote Amherst athletics. The Alumni Foundation, they've recently awarded a number of different grants. So next year you will see a new scorers table in the gymnasium. We have new sound systems at Windermere and Smallwood. There's a number of things that the Alumni Foundation has supported with athletics, girls flag football program, the list goes on. And then lastly, Excelsior. We have a phenomenal trainer, Sarah Kolopinski. She's new to us this year, but we've had a great relationship with Excelsior from a medical aspect as well, and especially through COVID. I can't give them enough credit for all the work that they've done to support our community, really to shine with Amherst pride. All right. Talked a lot. I'm gonna take a sip of water. Okay, so the data points, right? So where are we? How are we doing? How are we benefiting kids through educational-based athletics? We offer 67 teams across 30 different programs, which is equal to many large districts across the area. I would call us in Amherst a medium-sized district. But we offer the same amount of programming as some of the large AA schools in Clarence or Lancaster, which means we offer a lot for our kids. If kids want to get involved, if they want to participate, Amherst is going to find a way to make that happen. Hence, flag football, unified basketball, unified bowling, gymnastics. Didn't quite work here in Amherst, but we found a way to make it happen for that one child that wanted to participate. So again, 67 programs, teams, over 30 programs. This year, we have 731 total students that are participating in interscholastic athletics, from the modified JV to varsity level. And of that 731, 556 are multi-sport athletes. There is no way that we offer 67 teams without having that number of multi-sport athletes. That means kids are benefiting from education-based athletics throughout the course of the entire year because they're participating in 2 and 3 sports, which is something that we strive for. We're proud of that. We have a rich music program in Amherst as well, and we're proud that we can work in tandem with the music program to provide those opportunities for our musicians and our athletes for them to be as impacted as much as possible throughout their high school and middle school years. Scholar Athlete Team Award, 28 of our 30 have reached the NISFA Scholar Athlete Team Award. Again, that's the 90% GPA or greater. And then we have 18 college-bound athletes as well that are moving on to play collegiately at the next level. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over here in just a moment. Now is the time to shine for our state competitors. The first one that we have is Mallory Grubb. Mallory is an outstanding student athlete, a great person, individual, phenomenal family. Mallory is not with us tonight, nor is Coach Keppel. They're actually they're getting ready for their state championship coming up. They couldn't attend, but I do have a message from Coach Keppel and from Mallory about the experience that they've had at Amherst. So I'll read first from Mallory. Mallory, being an Amherst athlete has given me opportunities I didn't know were possible. Athletics have taught me many valuable life lessons and given me memories that I am beyond grateful for. From Coach Keppel, being an Amherst coach has given me the opportunity to share the sport I love and believe in with the next generation. The sport of running teaches you that hard work and dedication, everyone can find success. And everyone's definition of success might be a little bit different. It could be able to finish a 5K, or taking time off a personal best, or qualifying for a state championship meet, which Mallory's done in cross country, indoor track, and outdoor track. Or watching athletes' personal growth is amazing, and I'm extremely lucky to be their coach. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over, and I'll stand up here to be the clicker, but I'm going to call up Coach Newport for indoor track, and I'm also going to call up Talia Christopher, just to honor and recognize Talia and Coach Newport for their hard work in indoor track. Talia, I'm sorry, Talia. I was telling Coach Orban, and I apologize. I had a Talia at a previous school, and I told Coach yesterday, I'm going to say it wrong. I know it, so I apologize. Okay.
You want to start?
I can start by just talking about my time at the championship meet. It was really, really fun. I think one of the best parts was just meeting all of the people and the athletes that were there. When I go to outdoor meets now, I just know a lot more people. The girls I roomed with, I talk to every time, and it was just really fun because we were in a hotel together, just having fun. So I met a lot of people. And then also, the meet itself was great. It was like crazy seeing all the people competing. They were just so good. And the facility was great. And overall, it was a good time. So, yeah.
Yeah, as a coach, super happy to have someone like Talia. Mr. Whedon talked about like building a culture, and I think she is one of the ones that like you can build a culture around. She has great natural talent, and that's not what like I want to praise, but she uses that and builds off it with her tenacity, her hard work. She's open-minded to new ideas and different things to work on. So she continually raises the bar for herself and her teammates, and I think just builds the team up by doing what she does best.
Thank you. Holly, I owe you lunch.
We all heard that.
I know.
It's Friday.
Miss my name, miss my name.
Brad, yeah, that's an easy one. Mark Schmidt, can't mess that one up. Brad Johnson, I'm going to call you up with Coach Ortman. Say a few words.
I don't like that he's taller. All right, so we are here to celebrate Brad Johnson's 59 3/4 shot put win in state qualifiers last weekend. It was absolutely amazing. It looked like it was shot out of a cannon. So we're here to obviously celebrate that. But also, more importantly, I'm here to represent the other outstanding coaches as far as track and field. We got Coach Syrick, Keppel, Bibler, and Newport. We as coaches really get the opportunity to work with Brad Johnson, kind of caliber student athlete. So we, of course, celebrate all of our athletes on the field success, but are most or more proud of the off-the-field character traits these student athletes definitely embody. The dedication, the drive, the resilience, these intangibles, held by Brad and many of the other athletes here today, all but guarantee their success in any endeavor outside of sports they decide to pursue in the future for sure. So definitely on behalf of, I think, all the coaches here, just thank you for an amazing season, and I hope for the best for states. It's going to be amazing.
I'd say the biggest thing I've taken away from playing sports is just meeting new people. At the track meets, I've definitely made a few friends from other schools, but then at Amherst, I would say most of my friends are all I've met from playing sports. So that's probably the biggest takeaway.
Next up, just got back about a week ago, not even a week, about a half a week from Flushing from the USTA Championships. Coach Biddle with Alex Wheat.
That's a nice picture of me.
I tried finding one without Dolphins gear on, but it's very hard to do.
It's really hard to find these days. It's the only good team around. Sorry. I told my wife I was not going to be sarcastic at this meeting. Already failed on that. This is a participation award for the state tournament Alex just got back from. He played at the U.S. Open, which is amazing if you consider that we have 50 states. Give me that. We have 50 states, and we are the only state where the state qualifiers actually get to go and play at the U.S. Open. There's no other state that does that, so I think that's fantastic. In the state of New York, including Long Island and New York City, there was over 6,000 tennis players this year. Alex made it to the final 96 players, and he was a singles player, which is usually the stronger draw, so he was down to the final 32 when he played at the U.S. Open. He won his first round matchup against a very good player, and he lost in the second round to the second best player in the state. Since I've been coaching here, I've had a few doubles teams that have gone to states. I've never had a singles player with his competitiveness in his game. He's the only player that I've had that I haven't been able to beat yet. And he was absolutely tremendous. Just to mention a few things, he has been playing ever since he was in 8th grade competitively, probably before that as well. This year he was a team captain, he was a team MVP, he came in third at ECICs, he came in third at the Section 6 tournament, obviously qualified for states. He's been nominated as an Athlete of the Week for Amherst. He was nominated as an Athlete of the Week for Channel 7 News. They did a story on him on May 23rd, which was great because I looked really good in that one too. And then before I took, this is your participation award. That experience down at the U.S. Open, it's like nothing you've ever seen before. Like the best players from the state, and having Alex there representing Amherst, and having his family there and his friends there, and a lot of his family apparently lives down there, was absolutely spectacular. And I really enjoyed the first class ride you guys gave me. It was really good, the flight down. I appreciate that. Before I turn it over to the next person, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I just want to mention just real quick, Alex is he's the leader of the team, but this is the leader of what this team has done this year. Besides their record, they had an excellent record, 12-4, 8-2 in D2. We had 6 qualifiers for ECICs. The team average for tennis this year was a weighted average of 100.8. I've never seen that before. Our overall team average was over 100. That's because they took mine out. The team collected 105 bags of groceries so that Mike Belial could haul it off over to the Tigers food den. They volunteered at the teacher's desk, which is in downtown Buffalo, and they assembled 1,350 backpacks with supplies for children in Ukraine and for children in Buffalo for underprivileged schools, families, and kids. The tennis program here has raised almost $5,000 so that we could get a new windscreen at the middle school to really show off our campus. And that has been helped by what Mr. Wheaton was saying, the athletic booster clubs, they chipped in quite a bit of money. The alumni grant chipped in quite a bit of money. It was a very collaborative effort. And before I'm gonna let him say anything, just one more thing. As Mr. Wheaton, as you were reading his title, I mean, how many things does he do here? I mean, he's got like 7 titles. He's director of athletics, PE, and a whole bunch of other stuff. I do what I do because I love teaching kids and I love using tennis as a vehicle to help motivate these kids. But the standards that are set for the athletic department here, Mr. Wheaton more than sets that standard. He sets a very high standard, and we have to hold ourselves up to that. And his assistant in the office, Ramona Rubin, I mean, I don't know anybody who can plan 3 years ahead of time and still be working on the stuff that she's working on at the current moment. So I want to thank all of you, and Mr. Pinello too, for supporting all the athletics here. It was a good hire. I know I was the final stamp of approval on that one. I think I did a good job. I'm going to give them a highly effective rating. I'll send that to the state in the morning. But thank you.
Your turn, Alex.
By the way, I do change my clothes. That picture, I know it's the same shirt and glasses.
Well, I mean, I would have to say that my experience at States as a whole was obviously, it was crazy. I mean, the whole the U.S. Open thing is, you know, it's such a great experience. But really, kind of from our team perspective, from here, I mean, obviously he's done a great job. But I think that kind of one of his strongest traits is that he kind of lets our team regulate ourselves kind of at the same time. Obviously, he steps in when he has to, but all the other guys on the team, other than, you know, maybe Charlie Fleming, really know what, you know, we know what we're doing, and we keep things straightforward. And I mean, we really we use that and we find success in it. So I mean, it was a great season, and I mean, I'm looking forward to the next one. So
Humor is also part of that championship culture, especially with the tennis program. Okay, our last group I would like to honor and recognize is we have captains with us because obviously we have a packed house. If we brought in 20 some boys, it would have been a little bit tight. So we do have our captains for boys basketball, as well as 2 of our coaches in attendance. We have Bo Beal, Teddy McDuffie, Nick Moore, and Josh Bugera, and we also have Coach Kenzie and Coach Kenzie. I'd like to invite you all to come on up to say a few words about your experience here at Amherst and the state championships.
Yeah, again, thank you guys for having us here today. This was an awesome opportunity to come out and speak. The basketball program this year, obviously very successful. Our time throughout the season was very, very enjoyable, and we learned a lot of lessons and took a lot of wisdom over those months of playing with each other and with our coaches and everyone together. It was just, collectively, it was just an awesome experience. I think my memory, the best memory that I can take from that entire experience is just throughout every practice when either we'd be having a rough day or just being a little choppy or just whatever it was, Coach Kenzie and the rest of the coaching staff would bring us together, and we'd go through either some small piece of wisdom or some story would be told or just one little lesson. But in reality, when you're in those trying times and you hear that lesson, it's really easy to take that away and to apply it to other parts of life. And obviously throughout basketball, one of the longest sports seasons out there, it's just really huge to maintain that positive mindset and mentality, and it's obviously something that's very applicable to life outside sports. So, thank you.
Hi, I'm Teddy Mcguffey. I'm a senior at Amherst. Sports as a whole, for me at least, it was my way out, kind of outlet. I played basketball, football, and track. And with my basketball team and these group of guys on me today, I feel like we was more as a team. It was like a family, brotherhood we built. We went far, the farthest team we've ever done. And it was just great. Every memory we built, all the laughs, we cried together. It was just, I would never forget it, honestly. And going to Glen Falls for the first time, playing at that arena, all the bright lights shining on us, it was just like it was a surreal moment. I'll never forget it. Everything Amherst has done for me, I appreciate everything. And I'll take it with me, all the life lessons for the rest of my life.
Yeah, kind of going off what Teddy said, I think like the biggest thing about our program is like, yeah, we had like 20 plus wins, sectional title, regional title, but like coach stresses a lot that it's bigger than basketball. Like Teddy said, it's like a family. If it wasn't for the pandemic, we would always go to Coach Kenzie's house to have like a meal together before the playoff run. And I think we're beating Coach in golf this summer, so take him out to the links. But yeah, like I think like at a lot of other schools, it's just like November to February, just basketball. Whereas like here, it's a 12-month program. We really get to know each other. It really is. It's kind of like a cliche, but it really is like a family. And so I think that's what I really love about Amherst. So.
Well, I was going to talk about how it feels like family too. I'll say even like the whole year, besides the point we had the COVID breakup, just seeing like every ticket we could sell, the students would buy it and just come watch us play. It was real special. It made us feel like we were bigger than what we really are, and I just felt like I was playing for something more than myself. Like the whole time in Amherst.
Sure. Many of you don't know me. My name is Mark Kenzie, and this is my 43rd year of coaching. And I've coached at Clarence, Maryvale, Sweet Home, and now Amherst with my son. When I retired from Maryvale as their head coach, my son, he didn't even ask. He said, "You're coming over to Amherst." And ever since I've been here, it's been just a tremendous experience, from the support of the teachers, the faculty, the administration, the students. And I'm going to say one last thing, beyond all of our successes this year, that these kids made it. They were wonderful. They were outstanding, and that's a tribute to their families. Thank you.
Yes, and for those that I've never met, my name is Chris Kenzie. This is my 15th year as a high school math teacher and 13th year as a boys varsity basketball coach. I also have the honor of coaching our girls flag football team, which we're playing a championship tomorrow at Sweet Home. So if you're not busy, 5 o'clock at Sweet Home. I can't say enough good things about the district. Going back, like I said, 15 years ago, from being hired by Ken Butka, who's a mentor of mine, and I think the guy who just bleeds black and orange. He kind of showed me the way. Nancy Riccio from hiring me, and then the support from all of you and Mr. Pinella. But these guys, and they've had to go through a lot, as all of our student athletes have in the past 2 years with the pandemic. And we would meet once a week. We would on Zoom all the time and talk about what we did, not really just with workouts, but what are some of like we have debates on basketball players. We talk about favorite foods. We would just talk about what our favorite gift was for a birthday or a specific holiday. And I think that the success that these guys have had is not just like Josh said, or I can't remember who it was, but it's not just November to March. It's built on really getting to know each other. And it's my kids wanted to be here because every single one of these guys, because we take the jerseys home, we wash them every game for our guys, and they'll put the jerseys on them. Everyone, these are their 4 favorite guys, and they're like, I'm gonna dunk like Teddy, I'm gonna shoot like Nick, or I'm gonna go into the charge like Bo, or I'm gonna stick a 3 like Josh. It means so much to me because the amount of time that we invest, and it's not trying to put myself on a cross, if you will. It's just the amount of time we have to spend away from our family. Just for my kids to recognize like what they mean to me, not just as student athletes, but just people, is tremendous. And we would not have been as successful without these 4 guys. And I could give you a list, and I won't. But every single one of them. I mean, the best picture at the end of the year, all the guys, we give them an 8x10. They sign one for my room, and there's one that kind of summarizes our team and all 4 of these guys. And all of you probably saw it. It was on the Buffalo News, and it was the best picture I've ever seen. It was Teddy Mcguffey just clenching his fists and shouting, and they're all warriors. And the leadership that they provided for our guys on good days, on bad days, when the ball wasn't going in, and when it was really second to none. I'm so proud to have gotten to know them, continue to work with them, and it's once a Tiger, always a Tiger. It's that family feeling. We do have an alumni game every year where they come back, and I'm expecting these 2 to be back and our other seniors. But it's not just the basketball team, it's not just the high school, it's not just the middle school, it's not just the administration. The community of Amherst really is second to none. And the support that we've been given and been able to show them is really the success. So like I said, I could go on and on forever, but I love these guys like they're my own, every single one that's ever played for me, and I do love the district as well. So thank you very much.
Bill, can you say something inappropriate? Because that got really emotional.
Can I have the gavel? Well, listen, it goes back to the start of the presentation, that philosophy of education-based athletics and building that championship culture. And to all of you in this room and to your teammates, you all live it. You embody what it means to be a student athlete. Our coaches, your dedication, your commitment. I know the time that it takes away from your family, but you all are all in, and we appreciate it here in the district. Again, it's that championship culture within athletics, education-based philosophy. Kids benefit from playing sports. So thank you to you all, and thank you to the board and to Mr. Piniella for all of your support for Amherst Athletics.
I wanted to just thank you for being here. Athletics is something that I'm passionate about because it was a big part of my upbringing, playing sports since I was 5 years old, all the way up through and including a college baseball career. But it was all the things that I heard from our athletes here tonight. It was the friendships, it was the relationships, it was the lessons, it was the thrill of victory, it was the agony of defeat. All of those things that I still carry with me today and that I use in my daily work as the superintendent of schools on how to deal with things in life's, the adversity that we face in life. I heard the word family an awful lot, and I was so happy when Mr. Kenzie joined his son coaching, because those Maryvale Amherst grudge matches were tough to watch. And I don't know who's keeping the tally of what that record is, but I'm sure it comes out at the appropriate times at family functions. But I look at all of our supportive parents. I have 2 daughters that play sports pretty competitively. I know the sacrifices you make as parents, driving them, the travel, the financial commitment, all of that is definitely pays off, and you should be proud of all the hard work that you've put in and what it's resulted in. And our coaches, you know, they go above and beyond. You know, I think if you tried to put an hourly rate on a coaching stipend, it probably comes out to be 5 or 10 cents an hour. So they certainly don't do it for the money. They do it because it helps them connect with kids, and they're passionate about the sports they coach, and they get to see the kids outside of the classroom and help develop them in ways that you can't do in the classroom. So I'm extremely proud of all of you, thankful that you're here tonight, and I look forward, for those of you that are seniors, I look forward to seeing what you do at the next level. And for those of you that are coming back, I look forward to seeing more great things. But more importantly, every time I've seen any one of you perform or represent our school district, you've always done it to the best degree possible. Whether it's on the baseball field, the track, the basketball court, football field, high character, positive towards your teammates, never any negativity towards the other team, never any negativity towards the referees, like just absolute utmost character and the best athletes that I would want wearing our jerseys and out in the world representing us. So thank you for that. Congratulations. We actually, while Mrs. Custodi is switching to our video presentation, it's been kind of a banner year for Mr. Kenzie. In addition to having the basketball team go on to states and now coaching the inaugural season of the flag football, he's going to be one of our teachers of the month that we're recognizing in this presentation. And he was also named a master teacher from the New York State Master Teacher Program. I don't know if I missed anything else. Did you have another child or something around here that maybe I'm not aware of? So 2022 has been, 21-22 has been a great year. So he'll also be recognized in this presentation.
Thank you as always for your kind attention to our Amherst Central High School Student of the Month, Teacher of the Month recognition program. We are always super grateful to you, Board of Education and Superintendent Quinella, for this opportunity. Without further ado, I will jump right in. We are presenting March, April, and May to conclude the year. I had some very special career and technical education students. Michaela Kegler and Jada Thornton were nominated and recognized by Erie 1 in their CTE programs, criminal justice for Michaela and fashion design for Jada. It's always great to see our students achieving at such a high hands-on level in those programs, so congratulations to Michaela and Jada. Students of the Month for March, Mackenzie Rose LaPierre and Michael Fernandez. Mackenzie, known as a very, very kind student and a high achiever, type of students that really has challenged herself in class, has taken many AP classes, achieved at a high level in the music wing. She was featured in our March concert and has really done a great job down there. One of Mackenzie's legacies will be our Amherst Pet Therapy program. She was there for the launch and has helped in its growth. Always a kind face for our adults that come in with their pets and has really been someone who has guided that program, participated in that program, and it has grown over the years, and it's been so valuable. So we really appreciate and are grateful to Mackenzie for making that program happen and making it be very positive for not only herself but her peers. So Mackenzie, great job. Mike Fernandez, many students and teachers have commented on Mike over the years. Teachers chimed in on his nomination, speaking first of his analytical skills. Very methodical thinker, brings a lot of great insights to class, and they were quick to note his wit as well. Quick, clever humor coming from Mike. It is always a great positive influence in class, both the insights he brings analytically and then his quick and funny comments that really help move discussions along and gives his peers great insights. Also been involved in our Science Olympiad program that's been very successful over the years. So congratulations to you, Mike. Mr. Curtis was nominated by one of his students, Elliot Montgomery. And Elliot shared quite a long write-up, said many things specifically to the skills he's learned in the tech program over the years, whether it's working with SolidWorks, getting hands-on with all of the high-tech machinery that Mr. Curtis has a strong command of, and how to apply that machinery to and those systems to great learning is something Mr. Curtis has quote-unquote hand-built over the years in his program. A lot of great things going on in the tech wing. But Mr. Elliot Montgomery also shared that as an individual, Mr. Curtis is a caring teacher. He really builds solid materials for the students to work with, but then builds in always time for individual attention to really boost students along with some things that are very intricate and technical. So he noted that he's been a mentor to him and really appreciated over the years all the extra time that he spent. Mr. Curtis is very versatile individual, so he brings a lot of insights from the field, whether it's building houses to fixing motocross bikes, riding motocross bikes as well. Just a well-rounded individual and someone that the students have really leaned on in a lot of different ways. So congratulations to you, Mr. Curtis. Mr. Thomas in the Student Services office, a kind and welcoming face, the first person you see when you walk in Student Services, and that is a busy beehive of activity. Students needing access to their counselors, appointments, college materials, all sorts of different other paperwork, etc. Mr. Thomas is always super friendly, super efficient, and really is a student-centered individual. So great person to have in the Student Services offices, and he's always there to help the students. That's his number one job, and he really takes it seriously and thinks a lot about the students' needs. So congratulations to you, Mr. Thomas. Moving on to April, we had the Stoddard twins, Aiden and Noah, and Olivia Hoppy-Spink. All these students have done a great job. Let's start with Noah. Noah's a very kind, upbeat individual, very positive in class. Ms. Boyer commented on his Latin skills and how his vocabulary and command of the language has been so strong, what a positive influence he's been in her program over the years. Aiden, also noted for his kindness, friendliness, a great fellow student, a peer leader, and always there to ask great questions in class, and it is a positive influence. Those smiles you see are genuine. They're always carrying those smiles with them around the building. And all three of the students have been steady presence in the music wing, being involved in our productions, both backstage and on stage. Musically have been very active as well. Olivia Hoppy-Spink, one of our top students, top seniors, has achieved at a very high level in all her classes, AP classes, advanced coursework, and has been recognized for that. She's represented us in NISMA and ECMEA music programs, and has been involved in our productions as well. So just well-rounded, versatile, kind students, so well-deserving of this recognition. So congratulations to Aiden, Noah, and Olivia. Moving on, Mr. Kenzie, just always such a positive influence in this building, a leader in Amherst. I wanted to spotlight him this month for his work in launching the flag football program. Just been a huge success. The leadership skills he builds in students, the team ethic that he builds on his teams is just second to none. He does such a great job with that and really builds the character of our Tigers. That program has been wildly successful this year. What a diverse and unified team it has been. An eclectic group of athletes, and Mr. Kenzie and Mr. Crozier as well have really focused on that aspect of team and building a team and building a program. So I look forward to many successful years with the launch of the flag football program. Congratulations, Mr. Kenzie. Beyond being a master teacher and a master coach, he's just a great guy and always positive in thinking of the students. Miss Mack in our main office, a steady-handed individual, has been a presence at Amherst for 2 decades. from starting the building every single day with substitute coverage and such, to doing all of our ordering, organizing our graduation, being there for the faculty, just a jack of all trades. And Miss Mack is a consistent, steady presence. It really helps our building run at all times. So congratulations to Miss Mack, well deserved, and we're really grateful and thankful for all of your efforts. Moving on to May, Cecilia Polk and Janai Kirkland were nominated for Students of the Month in their career and technical education programs, both looking at bright careers in the field of medical and health careers, and we know that we need those in America. So we're thankful to them, Janai and Cecilia, for being interested in serving others in that field, and we look forward to you both having a very bright future, I should say, in the medical field. And our Students of the Month and Teachers of the Month in May, let's start with Addison Rogers and Connor Hesh. Addison, a force to be reckoned with, freshman, has had such an impact on our building already in 1 year. Very, very positive kid. She has been very positive and doing well in all of her classes. She's involved in our productions as well, and was really excited about being part of our theater program at Amherst. Beyond that, she's really made it her mission to put all the Bucks on the map at the high school level. We've participated on many different levels over the years, but Addison was super active at the middle school with that and really wants to set a robust footprint for the future, to have a nice 6 through 12 program and a very strong bridge over to Mr. Mansfield and all of the Bucks program. At the middle school, we'll be participating this week, tomorrow, Wednesday, and she did get a lot of students involved. Addison, congratulations to you for a banner freshman year. Moving on to a sophomore, Connor Hesh. Connor Hesh was nominated for the coveted Kenny for his performance in our operetta this year. And that's quite an achievement. He represented Amherst during the Shays boot camp associated with the Kenny, and the students really got a lot of great experience with that, and we look forward to many, many more great productions for Connor in the future on the Amherst stage. And as well, Connor does a really great job in the classroom. He's known as a positive peer to his fellow students and really a great kid. So congratulations to you, Connor. Miss DeGolia joined us just a few months back, and she's done such a great job with our orchestra program, shepherding the students through their final days in the program and nurturing our up-and-coming orchestra kids. Her steady influence and her veteran status of so many years in the music education world has been invaluable to our students, giving them insights, those who are going on post-secondary music programs, and those students that just want to achieve at high level. She's a warm, kind individual and has really done a nice job with our students over the past few months, and we're super grateful for her efforts this spring. Miss Ward, well-known commodity at Amherst, has always had a keen eye out for our students that are civically inclined, social equity, engaged in the community, has sought out all sorts of opportunities for them, whether it's the women's suffrage movement and the program in Seneca Falls, New York, quiz bowl, trips to Washington, D.C., trips to grade AP exams in Albany. She does it all. Miss Fordham nominated her because she really wanted to shine a spotlight on the work she did with Jordan Benefield, who applied and won the Gates Scholarship, which is a quite rigorous process. Miss Fordham noted just how in awe she was of Miss Ward in terms of working with Jordan, quote unquote, grilling her during a mock interview process, preparing her properly for the rigors of that scholarship process. So those insights that she has to those type of processes, bridges and connections to colleges. She's got a collegiate background and connections to our local colleges. So she's really an asset for our kids, an all-around great person and a leader instructionally in our district. So thanks to you, Miss Ward, well-deserved recognition. So that concludes our program for the 21-22 school year. I really appreciate this opportunity. It's always a pleasure to shine a positive spotlight on our students and our staff and our adult individuals, our teachers, our faculty. It really is wonderful things that are happening at Amherst High School, and we appreciate your kind attention this evening. Have a great rest of your meeting.
That's all I have for the superintendent's report tonight. Thank you.
Great. Then we would need a motion for new business.
I'll make a motion to approve items 1A through N, 2B 1 through 4, C, D 1 through 9, E 1 through 5, 3B, C, E, G, H.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Then we will vote to approve all those items. Right?
Yes. Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and just of note, there were a couple of retirements in there. There were in excess of 21 years. Douglas Fry was 21 and a half years, and Viviana Ramirez was 21 years. He was a laborer and a TA. So those were notable. Are there any follow-up action items? Then we'll need a motion to convene to executive session.
Oh, good.
I'll make a motion to convene to executive session for discussion regarding employment of a particular person.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all for coming. That was a really exciting meeting.
Yeah.